Welcome to Forever Exile, the Path of Exile podcast. I am Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Welcome to episode 28 of Forever Exiled. We are...
It's 27.
Son of a...
It's all right. It's all right. You're just getting... It's,
I'm excited.
It's exciting.
I'm excited for...
Yeah.
I am excited for next week.
We do.
We have a big surprise next week.
Yeah.
Yep. How was your week?
President of the United States and Canada both coming on.
FYI, this is episode 27.
Yeah.
Welcome to this episode 27. How was your week?
Oh, I had an efficient week. I had a good week.
What's that mean?
Got tons done outside. Felt like a good dad because the kids were outside lots. It was a good week. Oh yeah.
You planted a tree?
No, I didn't plant a tree. You don't do that every day. Oh my goodness, get outside. Get on your one wheel and look around. How many people do you see planting a tree every day?
I don't look at anybody.
But I also had an extremely efficient guide writing week. I finally wrote my 310, even though it's almost 311. I finally finished my 310 guide for my cursing build.
At this point in a league, are a lot of people still like asking questions and popping on? I imagine the beginning is really busy, but it's
definitely not as busy. It definitely arcs down, but there's still definitely people that are interested. I mean, I posted it last night and I think there was 400 people that clicked on it so far. So there's still people looking around. Definitely those aren't like week one numbers. You know, you post a guide and within half an hour, you've had 3,000 people click your build, but finally finished it, which is nice.
You should put in your titles 3.11 ready.
Yeah, I should.
I feel like people do that really early, right?
Yeah. 10 billion Cyrus DPS.
Ready for 3.
No, it was a good week. How was your week?
It was good. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Everything's really crazy. Everything's really busy with everybody trying to maybe go back to work or not go back to work. So that's been fun. It's been a good week of playing some Red Dead. Yep. Played some more Red Dead. Path of Exile I got onto. I haven't done a whole lot. That being said, we did quite a bit this week for the podcast.
Tons back end stuff.
Yeah, podcast wise, it was really busy. So we had a couple things to announce, which is pretty sweet. One, which people may have already seen if they're looking at the picture, we've got a new logo for our podcast, which is super exciting. We now don't have the one that I threw together in like 10 minutes,
which looked really good, by the way.
It looked like it was put together in 10 minutes. So we now have like an actual official logo that we worked with a designer on, so we're both pretty happy about that.
And kudos to them if they listen. Fantastic job.
They did a great job. Nice and fun to work with. We had people ask us in the past. We kind of hummed and hawed. We are setting it up. You're probably not going to hear much about us talking about them, but just so that if people are wondering, we did set up a Patreon and a donation page. I don't know where they're going to be linked. They might be in the website. They might be on the Discord. I don't know. We do have them now. So, if people want to help support, the money's just basically going to help pay for the monthly cost of the podcast, upgrading hardware. That's it. So that's,
but please don't feel obligated. If you love us, don't feel obligated at all. Yeah.
Just listen and tell us we're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, that was my week. My week was work, Red Dead, Forever Exiled. It was good.
Good week.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked more this week than we've talked in our entire lifetime.
Yeah, it was
together.
It was pretty frustrating. Pretty frustrating.
But we had so much fun making that logo, taking pictures. Oh, yeah, that was fun.
We did.
I peed my pants laughing.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you notice in your busyness that our private league has now expired?
Yeah, ended on Tuesday.
Oh, wow. You did know.
Now, more than did I know that it ended. I just want to point out and give a huge shout out to everybody who played in the private league that you were halfway down the second page.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate everybody that finished below me, and I want to say screw you to everybody that finished above me.
That's a big screw.
Especially those with multiple characters above me.
There were quite a few too. Yeah. So I was super happy that you weren't on the first page. That was my most exciting part. But yeah, the league was done. It was fun. The private league. I'm not sure where we stand on the this upcoming league. I guess we'll see what the mechanics are. Some people really, really like private leagues.
Me.
I was gonna follow that up with they're weird. But yep, I think that's right. I don't.
Now, just to be clear, Justin's just a big fan of a big market. POE to him is all about selling and buying.
I'm so used to just picking up the stuff that I want, not like constantly looking for it or making what I find work. So it was just different. It was really different for me this league. Yeah. It was really fun playing with people, but I also realized I could play with them in Trade League. So we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we could always set up just our own chat, our own global chat.
The global chat was actually a lot of fun.
In the normal. Yeah, it was. It was cool to just sign on and just say hey to everybody. And
that was
pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was nice. It's nice that it's done now. It was fun to do. It was our first one. I think for both of us, I'd never done a private league before.
Nope, I haven't as well. Yep. And I think it was actually our Tarky episode that really got us thinking about it a lot more. He was really into them at that episode, and we kind of asked some spontaneous questions regarding them because we weren't expecting him to be so into it.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was a really fun community. It was nice to hang out with people in the game and then on Discord. It was cool.
Yep, people were cool. And again, for crushing Tyler, you guys all deserve a digital high five.
Whatever.
So, there it is. So there was a lot of stuff this week in Path of Exile. Nothing really like game related, but just lots of little stuff community that they put out. Yeah, little fun stuff. What'd you got? What did you notice that you liked?
Oh, well, I like reading the interviews of people, and I like the kind of marketing aspect of them interviewing people that they've hired and showing how they came to GGG and what it is that they do now. And I just thought it was cool. This week they interviewed a guy named James who was just part of the community. I mean, you obviously had the requirements to be able to work there, to be capable. They're just not going to hire me because I have opinions. But, they hired somebody directly from the community. And a big part of it was, I think, what was he, a Reddit moderator?
Yeah.
And as a result, had some communication with Bex, and she was able to put in a good word for him or give him pointers. And like that kind of stuff's really cool. So I enjoy reading about it. It's not all something to talk about on a podcast, but I quite like that. That was pretty cool. It
made me wonder for a moment when it was said that it was a Reddit moderator. I was like, have we had conversations?
Well, I mean, he's been hired.
You don't get told who you're talking to when moderators are talking to you in Reddit.
Well, I think they're all doing a fantastic job. I also like the fan art. No, we're changing the subject. I like the fan art. I'm not very artsy. I could live when I move into a house, I could take 3 years putting up paintings and pictures. But I really wanted to shout out one because how normally it's like a diehard fan that submits art to this fan art competition and it's neat to get recognized by GGG. Well, this person submitted their mom's work who doesn't play the game. They themselves are a big fan of the game, but their mom, who has been into painting, just decided to make a painting, and she knew that their kid really liked Path of Exile, so she made a painting of the intro level to PoE.
That's pretty nice.
So it's kind of cool. Someone who doesn't play PoE had their fan art submitted, and that was kind of cool.
I like that they do that kind of stuff, that they showcase. I mean, it's part of the screenshotting that they did too, like the screenshot of bosses. All the Act 1 bosses, they look so cool. Like you kind of get used to it now where you just like whip through Act 1 and there's chatters, there's, these different bosses. But when you actually see the zoomed in, they're sweet. They look awesome.
I mean, you always want to kill a boss as fast as you can, so you don't really get to appreciate them. So it was kind of cool that they did that.
I would say in Act 1 more than anywhere else, you get to enjoy them because you're probably not just walking through them. We're not.
Those, what are they called? The fire wolves or whatever they're called in Act 1, where you're basically, for me anyway, I'm running from them. I don't have any build that can take them on right away. I'm always like, nope. My build starts setting up in Act 3. I'll see you later. And I'm just looking for the exit. But yeah, I like that. Cool. Those screenshots. They had, you like a lot of the writers, and I think I get names mixed up all the time, but I think this person was one of the main interviewers at ExileCon.
Okay.
I think he was the one that interviewed the co-creators and stuff like that. Anyway, they talked about writing within the world of Path of Exile and how you always have to remember the timeline, right? And so they have what's called like a day zero rule that they explained and that they talked about, which I thought was neat. And it was basically you have to remember that every time you create a character, that character hasn't experienced the game yet. Right. When you create a boss like the Delirium Guy, Yeah, you can tell how far I got in the game because I call him the Delirium Guy, but the guy with the creepy voice. When he starts talking about certain things, there's certain places that you basically can't introduce him in Act 1 because of the things that he says, right? Like if he's talking about the death of Kativa, well, I mean, you can't introduce that before the death of Kativa. So it's just kind of neat to see the kind of rules and limitations and how difficult some of their circumstances are for introducing characters.
And they talked about that a little bit at ExileCon, where they mentioned the fact that they have to write and plan based on whether it's the league information or the game information, and assume from the point of view of a character, what have they actually experienced and what have they not experienced. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work, especially given that every 3 months you are typically throwing in something new that they have to make work.
Yeah, so you have to have a really open-ended story that allows you the freedom, because at the end of the day, you're not the one that's choosing what goes in, right? You're writing a story, but it's other people that are controlling which points get thrown into there. I mean, maybe you can change it at the last minute, but I'm kind of excited for, like, they were talking about releasing more books. You know how they have their comics that you can buy, or graphic novels. Oh my goodness, did I just say comics out loud in a graphic novel world? And anyway, I think they were coming out with some more stories, and they were going to start pumping some stuff for POE 2. I'm kind of into that.
Did you read any of them?
That. No, but I want them.
It didn't. Now this is different than the choose your own adventure thing that they make you pay $400 for, right?
Oh man, if it was $20, I'd do it.
Not 400. American.
Goodness me! When I'm looking at anything, I'm like, remember when I was talking about my MTX for Cyclone? I was choosing between two blues.
Oh my god, the worst save-on trip in the world. This is $3 or this is $7. Just buy them both.
Right. That's me. I'm debating $4, and I'm gonna talk your ear off about it for 6 hours. I bought the cheap one, by the way. I bought the cheap one.
I know you did.
Anyway, it was cool. Did you see the? I've never seen a post like this. I thought this was super cool of them. They posted the most popular MTX of all time.
Yeah, it's when I first saw it on the tweeter, I thought I didn't have time at the time to read through it, but it is cool. It's kind of like
you didn't have time at the time.
I didn't have time at the time. At the time, I was using my time to do other time. Okay. But I think it's cool being able to see that. It's like the stats you see at the end of the league, where you're seeing like how many people played what character and whatever. But this is like all time most popular. There's a lot of Celestial.
I like to pretend that because this came out this week after the release of our podcast, I like to pretend in my small little world that they're all listening and they're like, oh, well, they're complaining about Celestial, but let's just make this post just to show them why so much Celestial.
There is nobody that plays Path of Exile that does not understand the reason that they keep coming out with Celestial is because people keep buying it. So there's a lot of people that don't understand, but they're not worth listening to. It's going to be at the top all the time just because they would not keep making it if it wasn't making money. But yeah, it cracked me up.
Yeah. You know what used to be called Celestial?
Yeah, you told us.
They've now renamed it. It's Black Hole. And you know what the most popular portal is? Black Hole Portal. Nobody knows about it because it's not called Celestial anymore. But I would like to point out that I've had the Black Hole Portal. It's one of my 4 portals. I've had it since before it was cool.
God, you're one of those people.
Well, I don't have a t-shirt yet. Yeah. Oh, that would be a rad t-shirt, the Black Hole Portal.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that I had it before it was cool.
I would have Black Hole Portal on there.
Yep, that's pretty sweet. It was cool. I like seeing that kind of stuff. I haven't had a chance to like dig deep into it because I would actually be really curious to look at it more in depth, but it's cool that they put that up.
Yeah. One of my favorites, the Verdant anything, nice, leafy, woody. Nobody likes Verdant. It's my favorite. Nobody likes it. Anyway.
Yeah, it's old.
It was a cool community week in POE.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool community week. I liked it. Yeah. Now, as I said, I was pretty busy with guide replies and also making a guide, but River Genie has been following my guides for a bit now, and kudos to you, River Genie. Appreciate it. Plays on PlayStation, by the way. High five console people.
Poor guy.
Or girl. They brought up a really awesome stat, and I want to know what you think about it because you're a very fast player, you're a min-maxer, and you're very good at the game. But I want to ask you, what do you think of this stat? Instead of XP per hour, fun per hour. Would you rather min-max your XP per hour or your fun per hour first?
So for me, fun per hour is not a real thing, but it's certainly probably more important than anything else. But I would also say sometimes maybe they correlate. Like if you're playing a build that's fast, that's farming really quick, that's mapping quickly, that's clearing quickly, you're going to have high XP per hour. And based on the build, it might be a really fun build. I will say in the builds I've done in the past where I've been really heavy into the XP per hour, really heavy into farming for currency, that fun per hour would start to drop real quick. I get really tired. I don't know how people do the same maps over and over. The same, for me, I have to have fun. I would never play a game. I'd never. That would be one of the weirdest things to do, is to play a game just because you're getting XP. I can't think of why you would play it if there isn't a high amount of fun. But I would say you should focus on having fun. It's a game. It wouldn't be fun at all to be focused solely on just like, how do you min max and how do you get the most XP per hour? I have a feeling you're probably in that same boat.
I'm going to start changing my guide titles. I asked River Genie if I could take the quote and use it, and maybe even put it on my 10 billion fun XP per hour build. You know what I mean?
What would your rating be like? This is like 4 hearts fun per hour. What's the basis?
4.5 out of 5 stars. No, I don't know. There's a lot of people that stress about POE. And so when I saw that they mentioned the fun per hour of this build is amazing, it really suits me. It's just, there's a lot of people that freak out. I used to have somebody, I don't think I've heard from them, so I hope I'm not jinxing myself, but there's that individual that just harasses me every single league.
Yep.
and cuts me down nonstop. Gets suspended a lot too, but never completely kicked out. But their criticisms are, well, it takes you more than 3 minutes per map. What's the point? Why are you even playing the game? You know what I mean? But there's tons of people that like to play like me. They take their time. They get excited because they did their first Cyrus kill and they load the YouTube video and the guide reply. And it's a 15-minute video. Okay, awesome. You know what I mean? Like, you had a great time. You're doing a great job.
Oh, and I would imagine I would think the majority of people who play this game are not playing to get to 100. You might, when you first start, go, okay, I want to get a level 100. That's a max character. And after you've made 3 or 4 characters, you're going, oh my God, I don't care about getting to 100. I'd like to get to maybe 90. And at that point, your XP per hour really shouldn't be a big concern. If your goal is 100% focus on that XP per hour, but you are not going to have fun. There is no way people who get to 100 enjoy that whole trip. They just don't. Like 97 to 100 is, I've never been to 100, but once you're up that high, it's painful.
Yeah.
It's just not fun for me. So I think what you should do is find out what a really good XP per hour is, and then add a 0. And then that's what your fun per hour is. And make it completely has nothing, doesn't correlate to anything. Like, this is a 16 billion fun per hour build.
That's a good stat.
Yeah. And go up by 16s. Like, if the next one's like even funner, be like, this is a 32 billion fun per hour.
Oh,
just start a whole new thing.
Good.
Just start a whole new thing. Screw whatever it can clear. This is based on fun.
Onyx, one of my guide followers, messaged me, I think it was this week, and said, hey, I got my first 100 character. I'm never doing it again. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard people, and congratulations, Onyx, if you listen, or is it 0 Onyx? Anyway, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but congratulations to you. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard almost that exact same thing. If somebody's actually hit 100, how many times people have said, I'm never doing it again.
Yep. Most of the people I know that have had hundreds are the same. I imagine it's different for people who are playing it as their job. But I feel like even then, you don't see many streamers pushing for 100. It's just, it's boring. It's really, really, it's not fun to do. It can't be fun to watch.
It's the same comfortable map over and over. Even people that farm doctors, the doctor card, and they're just doing the same maps over and over. That's not a fun broadcast either.
So boring. I mean, whatever. In the end, fun per hour, the one benefit of that is it's completely subjective. It is whatever is fun for you is what you should do. And if that means you're focusing on XP per hour, great. But I would say if you're playing this game, play it for fun.
Yep, 100%.
Because it's a fun game most of the time.
Okay. You remember Lethal Weapon?
Yes.
Okay, he's the best character.
best.
Leo Getz is the best character in
No
the
means
world.
no, Leo. It's like one of my favorite lines ever. And he comes in with a scratch face. I think it's Chris.
Okay.
Who is it? I feel like it's Chris Rock or somebody. I can't remember. Somebody says it to him.
From number 4? Yeah.
I don't remember, but my favorite line.
Come on. Please. Like, you don't have all 4 Lethal Weapons memorized. My wife's one of those like original trilogies, and that's it. There's no new ones. So if she was a Lethal Weapon fan, the 4th one wouldn't exist. You know, Indiana Jones, there's only 3. Anyway.
What's your point on this Path of Exile podcast?
You know how I want a really creepy clown zombie MTX skin?
Sure. I mean, literally anything.
Sure, but I've actually been, when they came out with those highly criticized, but I loved those, what is it, the Harlequin and Ringmaster armor sets, that one league?
Yeah.
In the mystery box?
Like a clown thing or a circus.
I was like, oh my goodness. I think that was the Blight Minion League.
It was.
And so I was really hoping they were going to come out. It just right away I thought of clown zombies.
They did come out with a zombie skin. That was the Celestial Zombie skin.
I know. So anyway, I was daydreaming about a creepy clown zombie skin being real. And then I started thinking about what I wanted my skeletons to look like to match the theme, because obviously I'd have the Harlequin or Ringmaster armor set to match. And so then I got thinking, my skeletons have Infernal Legion, which is basically an RF, so their life's getting eaten away. I speak English good.
Mm-hmm.
So they have Infernal Legion, but I also have Minion Instability, which for the 3 people that don't know, Minion Instability is when your minions get to low life, they explode. So I'm basically using my skeletons as little bombs. So I got thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if you could have MTXs for a notable on the passive tree? Like this, so think of this. I would love to buy an MTX for Minion Instability. And it would make my minions explode, or when my minions died, when they exploded, they would explode like fireworks.
Okay, so applying an MTX to a notable, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I would jump. I mean, yeah, I would jump.
There's not a ton, but there's enough for sure that you could add it to.
Like if you had like a leech one, like for Valpact or something, your leech was a cool color, you know, or it made
God, you're literally just trying to destroy computers. Even worse than they already are.
I just want fireworks for my clown zombies and skeleton build.
Every time
Minion
they
instability,
explode.
Fireworks.
Oh my God. I feel like
you know those consumables you can use in the hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just like that. They already have it.
Yeah, guys. God.
How have you not done this yet?
Jeez.
What's taking so long?
All right, so I have a question regarding bestiary. I saw your note. I deleted it.
Did you delete it? You did delete it. No. Hey, it's not bestiary. It's bestiary.
Nope.
You speak English.
It's bestiary.
Bad. No, it's spelled. See, it's also chieftain. It's pronounced bestiary.
No.
My wife knows these things, and when she was listening, she's like, "He's saying it wrong. It's bestiary."
Nope.
You never pronounce things the way they're spelled in English. Are you Googling it? Do it.
How can you Google it?
Bring your headset. Just like we've done every other episode. Do it. Bring up bestiary. Google it. Put your headset to the mic.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. Everyone will hear that because that's going to come through your same audio. So hold on. Zip your lip. I'm going to play it right now.
Bestiary.
Nobody. I didn't hear
it. I know you didn't because you can't hear it. Just wait till you listen to this podcast and you're going to be like, oh, why did I ever put that note in there?
It's bestiary.
Nope. All right. So do you care about the menagerie? Like I go there to do my thing and get whatever I want out of, actually like spawning the monsters. I remember when it first came out, like going in there and being like, what? There's literally no point. You can walk around and see stupid stuff caged up. I don't get it. I feel like it's just a waste of space. Do you go in there?
I never think of it.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying it, I'm like, oh, I should go and check it out. I should see how they're all there. Or if like you have, your max monster amount for a certain type, if it maxes out or if they interact.
You'll walk in there once.
I probably wouldn't. I don't know if it's a waste of space though. Like it probably doesn't turn on or use up any. No. Like it probably doesn't screw over your game. So I think it's cool that it's there. I like those neat little things. I'm not the type of player that would wander around in there for a bit. When I go do beast crafting, which I rarely do, I would just go to the arena, get what I need, fail or not, and do it again.
I've watched people beastcraft. I need to like watch a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, me too. I really need to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the few crafts I've never really paid a whole lot of attention to. But I was watching somebody just recently beastcraft and I was like, huh, that's smart.
It's pretty strong. Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I've been thinking about that too. So I had some pretty good last couple of weeks. I didn't have a lot of PoE time, and I've made a point of playing whether I'm dog tired or whenever, squeaking some time in. And I've had some pretty good PoE sessions. But F you exploding corpses. I never see you, and the only time I know you're there is the 20th time I've died, even though there's only 6 portals, and I finally see the explosion, or I finally hear the explosion.
I don't see them as much anymore, but I don't like them either.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. There's rares that just pop up and do it. There's, oh my goodness, some of the like beyond bosses and who else is it? The crazy mods that Einhard's beasts get.
They used to have a totem, and I can't even. It's funny because you play the mod with, or the map mod with more extra totems, areas covered in totems or whatever the wording is. I recently don't remember running into the exploding corpse totem, but I definitely remember it in the past where you'd be terrified if you didn't kill that one totem because just crap around you would start exploding.
Well, see, I'm just like when I give advice to new people, I tell them like always move around, right? The number one thing that's going to get you killed as you're learning the game is standing still in the game. So I tell people to keep moving around, and I follow, of course, my own advice. But I'm trying to like calm down and play at a little more casual pace, sometimes stand still, be more aware of what's going on. And I can't tell you in that process of trying to play calmly how much more I've died from those freaking corpses. I just can't like give them another ring like you gave the lightning or the fire.
You'll be fine.
F you exploding corpses. But one thing that I did do, and I really wanted to try it, because one thing, I think I've mentioned this 1,000 episodes ago, because that's how many episodes we've had. I would love the ability to toggle map mods on and off, but keep the mini map in the top of the corner.
Right, because right now they only disappear if you pull up the whole.
If you bring up the map so that's in the middle of your screen, which makes me really nauseous. I can't do that. Mm-hmm. But when I'm broadcasting, I want people to see the map mods. Right. Or when I'm making an example video, I made an example video for my cursing build this week. I wanted to keep the map mods on the screen, but I didn't want the map to be in the way. So I'm like, okay, let's try this. Let's have the map mods out, but I'm going to make the map invisible, right? Because it's just always in the way of my vision. So I'm like, let's make the map invisible, all aspects of it, and just have the mods. And well, for me, let's just say that PoE is a mini map game. Like I couldn't even see the loot icons. Those even go invisible as well. Like your Alks or your Chaos when they drop. I mean, Exalts and Mirrors, what am I talking about? And so, but I mean, those even go invisible on your map. Mm-hmm. And so it's just one of those things where you're really dependent on it. So I would love to have those mods as an option to display as opposed to only being available with the big map, because I need the mini map. I prefer it. I hate the big map. I only use the small one. But
yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Yeah. So that'd be nice if they did.
So I don't know if I've ever actually asked you this, or if you've asked me. Do you have a favorite map? Like,
yes.
Oh, I already know yours. I don't even have to
but I'm gonna tell everyone because they're the best. Do you want to tell yours first?
God, no. You tell. Let me. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Racecourse. Hands down, Racecourse. It is the best. I don't care how it looks or anything, but it does look really cool. But I love, it's basically just the 2 ovals with a door that connects in the middle. And it's the perfect, like, I don't know if I've ever said it, but when I map, I just like to hug the right wall, my right shoulder, and I go, and I'd love to be able to complete the entire map by hugging the right wall of any map. If I have to do one more sweep through the middle or something, fine. It flows. But Racecourse is the perfect right wall hugging map. You just turn to the right, you kill everything in this nice wide corridor, you hit the door, great, you go in, you turn right, you keep going, fight the boss. Awesome. Come back out, keep hugging the right, and the whole map is done.
Mostly.
The only thing I don't like are those dogs that come out. If you're playing quick, the dogs come out, and then when you check to see if there's any enemies left over, there could be 18 or something left over. But besides that, it's the perfect map. Number 2, and you're gonna laugh at me, channel or waterways, like that layout. Oh, I love it.
You are the worst in that map. Oh my god. I can't run that map.
My fun per hour in that map is off the charts. No, but the bosses are nice. They're cool. There's the big bird in the channel version, and Waterways has that, I don't know, that like really, it's like the big golem. Thingy. It's like the big ice golem. Yeah. But anyway, those
goes immune for half a second. I don't like that. Channel is not a right hugging map. You think it is? No, it's not. Nope.
Yeah, it is.
Nope. You're wrong.
You're gonna backtrack no matter what in that map. So channel's fine,
but I like it. But I don't like the way you run it.
But I run it great and you run it lame.
Your fun per hour. My fun per hour when I'm with you in that map is 0. Like it's negative.
Add a 0 to that.
Yeah,
and
we're
that's
into
almost
negative
100.
16 billion.
Wow.
Fun per hour. I don't think I have a favorite map. I like anything that's not locking me into like cages. Like I really don't like any of the inside dungeon style maps. I don't think I have like any specific. I love old school Strand, like back in the day Strand, but I don't have a favorite map. I like a lot of different maps. I can't think of a favorite one off the top of my head. Just anything that's not putting me into like tiny little cages and making me feel, super stuck.
Now, I have my favorite maps, like actual favorite maps in the Atlas set up for finding hideouts. I'm putting finding hideouts over my Atlas progression. I found a hideout.
Which one?
It was in the Crimson Temple. Oh, the Sanguine map. Or the Sanguine hideout. I hate this language. Seriously, I hate it. Is it Sanguine?
I think so.
Well, it looks like it's Sanguine. Anyway, I said what is it? Sanguine? Are you looking it up?
Do I need to play that?
Look it up.
Hold on 1 second.
Sanguine.
Oh, it said sanguine.
Oh, which one did I say? I don't know. Sanguine. Okay. Penguin, sanguine. Doesn't even. Okay. So anyway, but you know what was really lame? I don't know if this is on PC or not, but it was on console, which is superior. And so I went to go talk to Helena, and I'm nervous. Like I cleared the hideout, so I've unlocked it, but I'm nervous. Like I don't want to lose it. It's going to be another billion maps until I see it again. So I speak with her, and then it has the option to like travel to the hideout. I'm like, oh okay. I want to make sure that I've unlocked it, so I go, and then it just takes me to the hideout like I'm creating a new hideout.
Right.
And the map device is there, and there's no portals, and I'm like, oh, okay. So then I quickly travel back to my hideout.
Yeah.
And the portals are gone. I lost the map. It was such a nicely rolled Crimson Temple, too. It was like the easiest 123 quality I have ever seen. Nothing applied to my character, and I was flying through it, but I got the hideout right at the beginning of the map.
So next time, once you clear it, leave the hideout, go back into the map, and portal back to your base. Go talk to Helena, and if it'll be listed in there if you've unlocked it. Then you don't have to travel to it. I've never actually gone to it from her in the map. I've just left the map and checked and seen that she has it. But
I was pretty choked to lose such an epic map. T16, and it was just,
but you did what it was supposed to. You were only running it for the hideout anyway.
No, I'm also trying to unlock influence as well. So now it's not a favorite
anymore. If we back
anymore.
this up like 30 seconds, 60 seconds ago, you said you were putting finding hideouts over progressing your Atlas. So it did what it was supposed to do.
Except Racecourse is the favorite for that entire region. No matter what else is in there.
Racecourse doesn't have a hidden.
No, it doesn't.
Hideout, right? Okay.
So there's favorite, then there's hideouts, then there's Atlas progression.
So
anyway,
I'm curious what the difference is between us on this. When you get maps, let's go into a new league, because I don't care about standard. I don't care how you do it in standard, but I am curious in a league. What's your way of rolling maps? Do you have like how you deal with when you first start to get into, white maps, and then you're eventually going to get into yellow maps and red maps, but how do you roll them as you're going through? Because in the beginning, the tier 1 through 5, you have to do them as magic.
Yeah.
and then obviously you got to do rare, and then you got to do rare corrupted. Do you use that? Is that what you use? And do you use that through the whole thing? Like, will you roll an alk on a tier 2 map? What's your way of...
When I have the alks, yeah, definitely. To me, like I'll do magic maps as magic tier 1 to 5 at the beginning of a league when, you know, currency's tough but I'm still trying to progress through the Atlas, right? Like your first build of the league's always that unique one where you're level 80, mid 80s, and you're still in white maps just because of how maps are dropping, right? Mm-hmm. It's the second character you make that, okay, now I'm 79 and I'm, you know, in tier 10 type of thing. So it's, for me, I'm always doing, if I don't have the bonus, I'm doing the bonus requirements, no matter what. If it's the only one I have, if it's my last alk, if it's my last val, if I have 99% of a level, I'm valing that T14 if I don't have the bonus. Once I have more currency that I'm comfortable spending alks, everything is going to be rared, no matter its color.
Will you val it, or only if you need to val it?
It depends on the character. Most of the characters I have only 1 or 2 mods they can't roll, so I'm fine valing a map with that.
Yep.
But if I'm doing a character, I think the RF, my Righteous Fire character, is the only one that has a lot of mods that really don't favor running RF. I typically don't val maps unless I have to for a bonus for that one, just because it's more than likely just going to waste it for that character.
This league was one of the more frustrating ones for me for valing maps and them just getting like completely screwed, either changing to a map that I didn't need or adding on something that I just couldn't run. Whereas last league, I felt like I could val anything. Everything seemed like I could just keep running it, and it always stayed to the same map.
That's awesome.
So it's very weird.
I remember when I was first learning about val and valing maps a long time ago. I kept valing a map, and it always turned to another map, but it was always the same map.
I remember when you were having,
and it happened so many times in a row that I actually wrote a bug report because that's what I do. That's and what you do. It basically, I got a response from GGG, and it just said, we've looked into it. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have the worst luck in the world.
It was nice. Like, it was cool to get a know.
Yeah. But it was, So that's what I do. How about you? Is there a specific way that you map?
When I first start into a league, I will transmute and alteration spam them, or not. No, I won't spam them. I'll basically just give them 2 mods. So whether I need to just throw an augment on or whatever, I always wanted to at least have 2 mods, and I'll just run them blue in the beginning for sure. When I get into the tier 6s, I'll alchem, and again until I get into the vals, I basically like follow that order until I have quite a bit of currency, and then I won't until I'm in end game chisel. Like until I'm comfortable with my stuff and have quite a bit, that's when I'll start to chisel. And then at that point, I'll run every single thing at least alked.
Yeah.
That one league, I was valing everything because I was like, whew, amazing. Chisel and val, and you get tons of quant. But this league was brutal for that. Every val effed me over. Every single
sucks
one.
When that happens.
Yeah.
I had not bad map mod rolls the last week and a bit, but bad map drop. You know, like there's some times where you're getting a 47% quantity and you'll get 6 maps. And then other times you'll have well over 100 and you get nothing.
Yep.
Even with a scarab that's supposed to give you more maps. But when it comes to chiseling, I chisel T15s and higher. I don't chisel T14s or lower. And there's going to be a point in the league where you have a ton of, what are they called? Sacrifice fragments.
Yep. That's when you start using them for that extra quant.
So yeah, I put them in there too. There really isn't that much more to do on a regular basis that has currency, you know, unless you're loaded with currency.
I find a lot of times I hold on to my chisels for a while anyway, because in the trade league, that's what you can buy a lot of stuff with. A lot of maps, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Is there a specific way? Like I already mentioned that I like to hug the right wall when I go through maps, and my favorite maps are the ones that you can hug the right wall perfectly and clear, like Racecourse. How do you go about clearing a map? Is there a certain way you go about it?
Depends on the map. It's different for maps. I for a lot of them, I do that similar idea. But there are some maps where I know there's a faster route to go or a better way to go through it.
There was that. What was that? I mean, the map got nerfed compared to what it used to be. Strand. I can't stand Strand because you can't hug the right wall. There's too many little alcoves on the other side. Well, yeah, but there's too many indents on the other side where if you're hugging the right, you miss a bunch of enemies.
You
really like that map because you like
you hug the middle.
No, because then there's those boulders in the middle and you have to keep doing the U shapes, but then you miss what's in the water.
No, it is literally the easiest straight shot.
Beach is nice because you can still hug and you can like basically be in the water, and then you go around, you get in the little thingy at the end.
Do you actually follow the right in beach?
Yeah.
Oh my god! So you actually come back?
Yeah.
Just zigzag. You'll kill everything.
Fun per hour, just fun per hour.
You don't know what fun is. I give up on you.
Oh man, River Genie, I'm naming this episode after you.
Terrible.
Well, no, not you. Just fun per hour. Oh. So. You know what would make Alva more tolerable?
Nothing.
I hate her just as much as you, but I don't like bringing it up because then you don't stop talking about her. Right. But you know what actually make her a little bit more tolerable? Like, I hate anything timed in any game. I don't care if it's POE or Red Dead or whatever it is. But if you made it when you go into those, what are they called? I never remember the name. The incursions, I guess, are what they called, and you have like 5 incursions left until you open the temple. Is that what they're called? Incursions. When you go into the incursions in the map, they don't carry the map mods over from the map you were in.
You're saying if they didn't do that?
Yeah, right. If they did not, because for some reason the other night when I played, it was like a temporal chains night. GGG's like, okay, no, everybody's getting temporal chains every map, no matter how much I rerolled. And I would never, ever, ever do on a timed incursion, which they're all timed, with temporal chains. I would never do Alva. So I never brought her up. But I thought, like, okay, like I'd go through, I'd put a lot more effort in. It wouldn't be that bad if it was just white, kind of like the maps that you are going to fight a conqueror in.
Yep.
They don't roll with mods. Love that. I think Alva would be awesome like that. Well, not awesome, but better.
Yeah, it's still terrible. I don't mind Alva. I don't mind the incursions. I'll do them. However, I hate the leveling of Alva. That's what I hate about her. She's a cow.
Yeah. You've expressed
my disdain. It's been a few episodes. I've let her slide.
But you know what I still hate? And I will hate this in any game. This isn't PoE specific, though I'd love it if it wasn't in PoE. And I've said it, so we'll keep it short. I hate getting hit or dying from damage that comes from off screen.
What are you still fighting that's hitting you off screen?
There's tons of stuff.
No,
there's like a beyond monster from over there that's not even on your screen that all of a sudden hits you. There's rares that have crazy mods. There's lots of stuff hits you from off the screen. Well, no, you move fast.
Maybe if I was slower, I can't. I'm just trying to think of often seeing, like if you're fighting some of those crazy beyond ones, I can't think of their stuff coming at me from off the screen.
Well, you don't think very fast. They think fast and they hit me before I can see them. And that's not cool. That's not fun in a game.
Maybe you should kill them faster. Kill them faster and then you'll have more fun per hour.
I have to get there.
Whose fault is that?
You can't throw righteous fire unless you put it on a spell totem.
Well, you got movement speed. There's movement skills. The game gives you the tools, Ty. You just choose not to use them.
Please. No. Off-screen damage. No.
It's not off-screen if you got there faster.
You're a jerk.
Well, speaking of those Beyond guys, we were talking, I think earlier today, just about some of the bosses, especially, and how some of them, I don't know any of their names. I know them when I fight them, but I can't think of any of their names. But some of those Beyond bosses, especially if you fight multiple at the same time, they are intense. Oh. I can't remember what their names are, but the one that always does the worst to me is the ice one. He like spins these ice projectiles that just come firing out all around him. And if you get like 2 of them or tied with something else, their damage is nuts.
Oh, I love that stuff. Like I think my favorite thing about them is that there's certain builds that you're screwed on if that specific Beyond boss shows up. You know what I mean? Like I love any map that adds lots of enemies, makes it harder. I love it when the Syndicate invades me. I love Warbands. I love Abyss. I love Beyond. Like they're just so more enemies, the better. And The cool thing is when you're rolling beyond, you don't know what you're getting. You're getting a whole bunch of the smaller guys, but they're still pretty tanky, but you have no idea which boss you're getting. And
Or
there are
when.
certain, right. Yeah. And you could get a lot of them even at once, depending on how it rolls. And when you get that boss that your build can't do, it is terrifying. And the thing I love about Beyond is when you remember you're in a Beyond map, you're like, oh, I hope I don't get this boss. Oh, I hope I don't get this one. Or, oh, I'm hoping for this one because there's certain things your build can or can't do. And I love it. It's so perfect.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm going to move on to something totally different from Beyond and go into Delve. Delve is probably one of my favorite parts of Path of Exile. It was really bad when it first came out. Love it now. One of my favorite parts of the game. But I'm curious how you play Delve. Do you focus on, I guess what your process is when you're going and are you moving down? Are you moving out? Are you focused on where you're going to? What's your process when you're going through Delve?
I love Delve. And on a side note, I felt really bad for them because it was such a beautiful addition to the game. And the thing that really screwed it over at the beginning was the fact that they had to manage how currency came out. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, I mean, sure, there were issues with the league, but it was like how you earn the currency and how much and when that really made it set apart. But
yep.
But I love it. And I think the tweaks that they've done to it are awesome. When I go down and I delve, I don't really explore the dark areas. Mm-hmm. I have no interest in like jutting in and jutting out, and you know what I mean? It's just for me, because I'm a one button player, having even more buttons to hit. I'm
when you say that, you're referring to the light or the bombs.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, the flashlight you throw on the ground, the dynamite you need to use. I'm never hitting the right button. It's way safer for me if I'm on keyboard to just go across the number pad when I'm at a wall and, you know,
hope drop for the right thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll hit the right buttons at some point, but so I don't really go exploring in the dark. But if I see, sometimes there'll be one of those detonation walls along your main path, so I get excited for those. I check those out. I always make sure I have the most. I call them flashlights. What are they called?
Lanterns. Isn't it a lantern or something?
No, I don't think they're lanterns.
It's a light. I don't know what it's called.
And then, and I always make sure that I'm capped on those when I go splunking. But I like to, I always want to go as deep as I can, but I'm totally fine sidetracking to get to what? Smiley face, what? Anyway, I always, if there's a neat thing to the side, like, ooh, this one contains cold items, or oh, there's a currency stash, or oh, there's a Legion encounter, I'm always going for it. And only once my entire map that I can see has nothing but normal stuff, and then I progress farther south. How about you? Is there a certain, but when I'm going down, I hate you so much. I hate you. I have no idea why you're laughing at me, but I hate you so much.
Go on.
Anyway, I don't bother like clearing all the enemies as they come. The only enemies that I bother clearing are when I'm actually at my destination. I'll kill what comes my way, but if they don't die as I'm passing them, I'm still moving on.
So I run through I run through Delve as fast as I can, but I typically am playing something that's killing it as I'm moving, because it's really good XP, especially once you're up to a depth level that's, you know, equivalent to the maps you're doing. I find it very good XP to delve. So I'm always trying, I'm not slowing down, but I'm always trying to play some sort of build that clears it all. Whether I'm going to jut off to the sides always depends on my build. Depends on whether I'm regenning health or like it. That to me totally changes it, because you can't get leech if you're not hurting the enemy. And once you get into the darkness, you're not hurting the enemy. So then it's throwing down more lanterns or lights or whatever you want to call them. So it just depends. But I too try to go as deep as I can. And
is that what you were laughing about?
I don't know what you're talking about. And I do pay attention a little bit to what's around me, but not a ton. It's more just looking for the fun colors. I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
And I have found, I don't know if it's changed, if it's always been like that. If you go to some of the ones that are focused on like cold items or chaos items, some of the stuff that drops there is really good.
They're my favorite places to go when I see something like that. I'm so excited. When I get the fire one, oh my goodness, I have an endless supply of for my RF build.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's fun. I love Delve. I will always love Delve. I love the idea of like upgrading this area of yours and spending this currency that's only usable in there. Super fun.
And I love that it's a part of the game that's challenging without an infinite amount of mods. You know what I mean? Like you go down and it's 3, 4, 6 mods max. You know what I mean? But then it changes. Like it's not the focal point, but it's still really hard.
Yep.
I really like it.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
So Art of War on Discord, responding to our previous episode, which was not 27, it was 26. Reminded us that the Chinese realm has archetypes that GGG has that GGG has directly in the game for players to follow. So every league, kind of similar to how they do it for us, but there's nothing for us to follow besides the presentation that they show us. But there's 3 archetypes that GGG chooses each league that people in the Chinese realm can follow, and it tells you which gems to select. You know, when the quest rewards become available, it actually shows you, it's flashing on the level up screen, you know, select this node next. It's pretty cool. So I was thinking, like, I think that's a neat feature. It'd be cool to have in the, I mean, did we play the North American version, the world version? What did we play? It's the same version everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm. Besides there.
Anyway, I think something like that would be really cool to add into the game, have as an option menu where you can turn it on or off. But you know what I would absolutely love? If they would let you have the ability to upload your tree into the game. So you wouldn't have to, if you're on console, look at your phone at a pre-planned tree, or, you know, can constantly alt-tab to POE planner or path of building. It would be cool if you could just upload it into the game and it would just have a highlight for you for what would be next, right? Like it would just have kind of like a template for you shining there. I think that would be absolutely awesome.
So this whole comment was in reference to the fact that in the last episode we were talking about the idea of them dumbing down or making the tree easier or more understandable for new players, and sort of what we both thought about that. And I read his comment in Discord. I don't really care. I don't mind it if they wanted to do that, to have this like option for new players to sort of get a guideline for them to follow. That seems cool to me. There was a very short period of time where in Path of Exile in the tree, you could actually pre-plan your build. You could, like, I can't remember if it was like right clicking on it or whatever, but there was a way where you could actually like pre-plan where you were going to go in the tree, and it would actually show you it in a slightly lighter color, and then you could follow that. It didn't last for very long. The idea of being able to upload a pre-planned passive tree is kind of cool. That being said, I'm maybe going to come across as a PC elitist, but most people, a lot of people have more than one monitor, and you can just check it out on the other screen, and you can just pick where you want to go in the tree.
I have never had more than one monitor.
Do you know? Well, there's a real big problem with that. But do you know how? I feel like it would be a lot of work to have it where people could load a pre-planned passive tree. The only way you would do that is if Path of Exile was actually providing that, that tree to build on another screen. You're still, no matter what, going to have to be out of the game to pre-build it, unless they did something where they went back to what they used to have, where you could like right click on the tree instead to select the nodes. But I don't see it being that beneficial. I
think it would be huge. I think it would be awesome.
How are you uploading a pre-planned tree to console?
You do it through the website, just like filters. So you do your theory crafting, you're figuring things out, and then on the website, you're like, okay, because you can build your tree on their website too, right? So you have the tree, you upload it to their website, like you can with Path of Building. You can put your tree on POE's website. That would be awesome if you could upload it, and then it would just ask you which character you wanted it uploaded to. You
change your mind, then what? You change your mind, and all of a sudden, no, Tyler, listen to me. You change your mind, you uploaded this pre-planned tree, and all of a sudden you decide to go in a totally different direction. Does the tree just disappear now that you've chosen to go to a different direction?
You click the option that says display uploaded tree, you
Just
turn it off.
rebuild that whole tree, please. GGG.
No. You just like all it would be is just a shiny path.
Okay, but
right?
then
That
if you
shows
choose
you where you were
a
going.
skill that's not one of those pre-planned ones, what happens?
You mean a passive node?
Sure, you pick a passive node
Yeah.
or whatever that was not part of your pre-planned thing. Does the pre-planned part just disappear then because now you're not using it?
You have an option that keeps it displayed or doesn't have it displayed.
Or you just use your monitor and check it out if you want to use it or not.
PC elitist.
I'm fine with that. I totally am. I think the archetype thing is not a bad idea because it probably makes things a little bit easier for people getting into the game that feel like it's overwhelming. And I feel like part of that conversation too was him saying that, a lot of times the advice is for people to follow a build. That I think that's fine too, though, to tell people, hey, look, there are hundreds of builds out, thousands of builds out there. And I'm pretty certain every single league you could just Google starter builds or whatever. And I actually think that's going to give you more information than an archetype built into the game, because that's literally just telling you, hey, pick this skill, pick this skill in the tree, pick this support. Like, it's literally just telling you what to do, versus you can read some of the guides. They're relatively detailed that will tell you why you're picking that. I feel like you're just going to gain more knowledge by reading a guide and understanding, hey, this is the reason why these supports work versus these ones, versus the game just saying to you, hey, this is the flashy one, you should pick us. That's all.
I don't disagree with that, but you're having to hope that it's a good guide and not discover part way through that, oh, I need this item that I'll never get, or I'll need this item.
Sure, but you can look at a guide and see that it doesn't have. Yes, they
you and I can.
No,
new players can't. A new player can't tell the difference between what type of guide is good for a league starter. We've had so many conversations about people being misleading with their guide titles.
No, but the difference though, Ty, is the way you do guides and the way other people do guides. You start a new guide every single league as a brand new post. If I was looking for a guide, I'm looking for one that's got thousands of responses or views. If I'm a new player, because I know that I can read through the comments and see other people's opinions or whether it's been updated. So I don't think it takes that much smarts to go through the forums and be able to pick out a relatively good one, or YouTube. Like, people put up their posts all the time about it.
Yeah. But that takes a lot of time. Not everybody has it. And the thing is if GGG has 3 archetypes, you can trust it. You know it's going to be legit. You know it can be fun. They're going to have, I don't know, a bow build, a spell build, and
I'm not arguing that. I agree with you that the archetypes
you can trust
are
it,
good.
and you can just start doing it, and you can do it blindly.
You're not learning anything. That's the problem. I don't think there's
first playthrough.
I don't think you're retaining that player by just saying, hey, pick this skill, pick this passive point. I just don't think.
No.
Well, how would you learn anything?
Because it might not be that blind. They might say why you're picking that skill.
Well, maybe if we're making assumptions, but I feel like, and I don't think you would, I can't imagine you would disagree. If you started playing Path of Exile and Path of Exile said, hey, you want to play a mage? Take this skill. Okay, you leveled up, take this skill point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'd have a whole lot of fun with that. You wouldn't have.
No, I wouldn't do that option though. Right away, I wouldn't do it. I'd try and make my own build. That's how I would play.
I just feel like I'm not sure that an archetype being shown to you is the best way to retain someone to want to make a new character or to play each additional league, when if that's the way it's going, and I haven't tried it so I can't say for sure, but I just feel like you're not making any decisions. You're just leveling, games which we've played, which we're not super big fans of. When I hit level 20, I'm instantly just given extra XP. My mana is increased by X amount. I gained a skill because I hit this level. Like, that's not Path of Exile.
Really role playing.
Right.
No.
And so, but that's kind of what this is. It's kind of just saying, okay, you've hit this level. This is the skill you should take. This is the passive. I'm not sure that you learn much from that, versus even if you read a bad build, I'm pretty sure you could go within the first few posts of that to read about like maybe why it didn't. I just feel like there's better options to learn the game. And I think following a build is one of the best ways to do it. If somebody goes in and reads one of your builds, you are explaining to them why you're going this direction, why you're making this choice, why you're looking at this support, why you're going this direction in the passive tree. that lets somebody actually understand and maybe later go, okay, maybe I can deviate a little bit, or maybe I want to change this build to be my own. Whereas if you've gone through this thing where the game's just told you, hey, pick this,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't disagree with you, but I still think they should try it. You have no idea, like they're not going to know how much time that's worth to them, what the retention of those new players is going to be until they try it. I think they should try it and just have it as an option. Do you want to follow an archetype or no? That's what the Chinese realm has. It's an option.
Yeah, and I'm not arguing that it's not a bad idea. I'm just the way that it came up in conversation was, what would we say to a new person that's playing? And I still would, even if this existed in the game, tell them go follow a guide. Don't follow what the game is telling you to pick. Go and follow a guide to try and understand the skills you're picking, or the direction you're going in the tree or whatever. That's all.
Yeah. Now, that's where coming, like those little terms come in too, right? Like increased and more. You remember when they started changing those dramatically? I think it was when they started revamping like all of ranged, all of melee, all of spells, all of minions. They really revamped a lot of supports so that they were all as tempting as possible. I noticed at the time the term more damage really came to the forefront. Like it was everywhere all of a sudden. Do you feel like the term more compared to increased has actually completely trivialized increased?
Increased, yeah.
Do you think it's made it, for example, there's going to be support gems that give you more damage, like Ruthless. I think on the third hit, it gives you a lot more, or Brutality gives you tons. I don't remember what the quality is, but let's say the quality of that gave you 0.5 or 1% increased damage. To me, 10 or 20% increased damage when I'm talking about 45% more damage. To me, that's trivial. To me, that's sure, like when I have time, but I really don't care. It's not going to make a difference. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think one of the struggles with more and increased is it's not really well, or if at all, described or explained in the game. And a lot of people probably don't understand that more is worth far more value than increased.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how you stop that though, because you can't just change everything to more, right? Unless so I'm not sure what the alternative, but yes, it does make it where increase is probably less something to pay attention to. But I'm guessing a lot of people don't understand. It took forever to figure that out.
To me, they were the same word for the longest time. I'd see more or increased, and my brain would be like, yeah, okay. Like I thought it was the exact same thing. And it was just bonus. Yep. And so, for me, it took a long time. And then when I started noticing those little significant differences, I mean, it was like a eureka moment for me. Kind of like when I realized attack it was a type of skill. It wasn't just the general term for hitting an enemy. So yeah, it was one of those moments. And so, but yeah, it's not in the game.
Was your more / increased understanding because of Path of Building? I don't remember when, like, was that a Path of Building thing, do you think?
No, for me, yeah, it was. All of a sudden I started realizing that the terms were different. And it was on one of the, I forget which patch it was, which league it was, but it was on one of the major tree revamps. I think it was when they started revamping the Guardian and the Pathfinder, and they had those nodes that were very specific to the new heralds that came out. It wasn't specific to those, but it was that league, and they had some other changes where all of a sudden the term increased was emphasized a lot more. And I was like, wait, I thought that was just a general term. And then as I started reading gems as I was building my new build for that league, I'm like, oh my goodness, like more and I think that was when it really clicked for me, and when I stopped really needing Path of Building to see which supports would be valuable for which skills. You know what I mean? Just realizing the difference between more and increased. That was it for me.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
Yeah, it's got to be hard to balance. Like they've now made the majority of supports pretty viable, but increased, like it's just something like, yeah, that's nice.
It's there.
Yeah.
If there's nothing else.
I don't know how much you've been paying attention to Reddit. We do reference Reddit a lot, unfortunately, but I have been so annoyed with this league, not because of the league. I like the league a lot more than you, but I just hate it when there's a game where there are seriously a billion ways to play the game, and the only thing that Reddit talks about is that Herald stacking build.
It happens every
like
league,
at least it. I know. Well, I don't know if it's as much as this one. Like there's always some that are really popular. You know, people joke about the Mathel effect, right? The popular streamer, whatever he does, people follow, and it makes all those items expensive in the store. But I can't handle how much is like, hey, someone help me with my Herald stacking build. Hey, someone help me with my Herald stacking build. I just feel like uninstalling Reddit until 3.11 comes out. But oh man, there was this one. I wanted to give them a hug through the screen. There was this one Reddit post where they titled their build. It was like a build showcase. They titled their build, "Punch the Melee out of Herald stacking." And I just thought it was awesome. Somebody like came up with something that was way better than Herald stacking to them. I just thought it was funny.
I haven't paid much attention to like the builds and the stuff I know the meta is fast. Obviously Herald stacking is changed or is a big deal because of how broken it is. And the thing is, I totally understand why it's so talked about, because you either do it right now or you'll never do it again. It's not going to be around next league. You'll never be able to do this type of build again. So I can see why people kind of want to take advantage of it. I don't know. People always do that though. I feel like especially in cases like this where it was made quite big, you know, like I assume people streamed it probably and showed how it was all working. It's not a surprise. People get super excited about that and want to do it. I don't pay enough attention to Reddit to be irritated by something though.
Well, completely. No, you get annoyed with Reddit all the time, but completely
hold on. If you're going to say I get annoyed with Reddit.
Yeah.
I get annoyed with Reddit because I get in trouble. I don't get annoyed with Reddit.
You've complained about idiots on Reddit tons.
We've talked about people whining on Reddit.
And you hate it.
Yeah, but I don't pay enough attention to Reddit to like know that.
Oh, you're being so picky. Oh, come on.
I actually read it like quite often. So I'm surprised that I missed out on all the people asking for help. Do you sort your Reddit by like newest or like, do you do it?
No, I feel like toasts. There are alerts on my phone. I have the Reddit app, and I've said that it can alert me for Path of Exile and Path of Exile builds.
Like anytime someone posts?
It's not every post. I don't know how they choose, but it's just every now and then I get a post.
Oh, see, I only
maybe
look at
it has like some. Go ahead.
I don't know how what do they call it, top or hot or something. I don't know what Reddit calls it, but whatever's like got the most up arrows. That's all I see. So maybe that's why maybe I don't see them as much. Typically it's like some goofball drawing or some funny video of somebody dying. I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of that. So
I would though like to point out for people that listen that are they're that type of, and I'm not trying to criticize you or anything, but if you're one of those spastic people that freak out at GGG when they change something, if every change that they make to you is called a nerf, just notice when they nerfed, or as we called it, fixed a bug with Herald stacking at the beginning, look at how popular it still is. It's still insanely strong. So the next time there's a big nerf in your world, just remember, it might not be that bad. Kind of like me and zombies.
The people, I feel like you're talking to the people who said, I'll never play again. Oh, I will never play. They will play again. They're liars. They are already playing. They're already playing, and they'll be back in 3.11.
Feel like it at the time. They don't feel like it at the time though. But I had another eureka moment. I was making my 310. It's almost 311 cursing CI build, right? And I was writing the guide for it, and I was going through the mod section, and I had another term eureka moment. So you know that I don't know how long I've been avoiding this mod. So you know the mod that can run on a map that says you can't regenerate life, mana, or energy shield? Mm-hmm. That doesn't matter for a Chaos Inoculation character. Because you're not regenerating energy shield, you're recharging energy shield. Like there's perks where you can regenerate along with recharge. Yep. But I always, no matter how many times I've done Chaos Inoculation, I've always just translated regenerate as recharge with that map mod.
What was it that made you realize that?
Well, I was going through, and in my guides I say map mods this build can't do, or ones that are annoying, but you can run. For some reason, it just clicked. Wait, I don't regenerate any any notable energy shield. So I went and checked it out. I did an impossible map with it, and I'm like, oh, I can do it. But then I couldn't do it because I couldn't regen mana. But still,
but energy shield.
Yep. So I actually said that it could do all maps, but it's really annoying to hit a mana flask every 2 vortexes. But anyway, yeah, it was. I didn't know. Well, I did, but it never clicked.
That's awesome. The more you know.
That's right. It's like one of those memes. It's like, so you've been playing Path of Exile for 7 years. Yeah. So you must be good. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We stopped doing this. And maybe you've been secretly hiding these notes on me, but I don't think we ever came to conclusion to what kind of Path of Exile tattoo you would have.
Still have no idea.
Come on, you've had like 3 months to think about it since we last asked you.
I don't think about it, Ty. I'm sorry.
You're supposed to think about it and me every time you get out of the shower.
I'm gonna get. I don't know. I have no clue.
Oh, don't come up with one on the spot. Think about it. Next week. No, 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
There's a good chance my answer will be the same, but I will try.
Oh, you better try. Do you remember what mine is?
No. A chaos?
Oh,
or wait.
You are such a horrible friend.
It's true. What was it? What was it again?
It's something temporal chains.
Wait, you don't even know?
Well, it depends where I want it. I could have like the temporal chains like right on my butt cheek.
Oh, like the thing you put on Discord.
But then I could also have like the thingy.
Is that what you're talking about, right?
The chain that goes around your character. I could have that, but I don't want it to look like the normal barbed wire around the arm.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Cool. I'll think about it.
Yeah, whatever. You're a prick. So everybody else, not Justin, but Justin, I would like to know for science. I know people, every time I've asked for feedback, you don't get a lot of feedback in podcasts, but Justin, I would like to know how you came about to discover the podcast, how long ago or recent it was. Could you do that? Could you let us know?
How would they let you know?
I don't know. We have a Discord. We have Reddit posts.
Yep.
We have the Twitters, and then there's also the forum post that I don't think anybody looks at.
So you put in community or whatever it is.
It's in what is it? Community showcasing? Is that what it's called? Yeah, on the Path of Exile
Nobody
website.
clicks it.
Hey, no, that's where they put us, and it is where podcast things are supposed to go. They actually have a podcast thing.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so that's where we're supposed to go. But anyway, there's a few places. But if you could let us know, we're curious. It's just curious. That's it. That's it.
Sweet.
That's it. Yeah. But I was thinking, as I listened to our podcasts, my dad used to. He was a public speaker, conference speaker. He was an English professor. Oh my goodness, he would be so infuriated with how I pronounce words. And he was also actually a singer. And so he was obviously very, very good with language and public speaking etiquette and technique. And when I listen to our podcasts, oh man, I swear he rolls over in his grave with some of the stuff that that I can remember him telling me not to do when I'm speaking in front of an audience. Oh my goodness. Breathing in front of a mic, or those dead words, he would call them, or when I grew up in high school, I still say it, and it was a billion years ago. Just, I can't. When I listen to our podcast, it's a good thing it's casual, because I can't.
Well, be thankful it's also edited, because there's way more.
I have to thank you. You probably make me sound way, way better. But anyway, I was just thinking about it the last time. I'm like, man,
Hey, it's gotten better.
I could not tell somebody how to properly speak.
Well, certainly not how to pronounce words. Speaking.
No, chieftain. That's what it is.
Oh bestiary. My God. And those captains, they're my favorite. So we had we would trying to do this new thing, newbie tip of the week, which we're going to do right after this. But we wanted to just give a quick shout out because we had somebody suggest. I think this was a suggestion from 2 people in our Discord. So to Cynicism and Or You Havoc. That is the best I'm going to do of pronouncing that name. Thanks for this suggestion. So what would be your newbie tip of the week, Ty? Wrecker of Days.
Well, it's going to be a lot better than last week's because you put me on the spot. But this week, it's actually a really good one. And I can't tell you how infuriated I got as a new player when I would do this, being all excited, and then it screwed me for my next character. If you have leveling gear, like leveling uniques, like Wanderlust boots or something, or what's the helmet that everybody uses? Gold Rim.
Mm-hmm.
When you do a lab and you have the opportunity to enchant something, don't enchant your leveling gear. Because the mod that gets applied, what's it called? Oh, enchant. The enchant that gets applied has a minimum level requirement. And all of a sudden your, I don't know, level 4 item.
Level 0 in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Ends up being, oh shoot, you can't 28. Use it until you're level 49 or 28. So don't enchant your leveling gear. You'll get the leveling gear again. So save your first ones.
It's also the same with being careful when you alch an item, because quite often the mods that will roll on it will bump up the requirement. Yep. Mine is a stupid tip, and it's because of last league, which is that you should just double check what class you're when you start a new character. Just double check that it's the right class. Just take a once over and make sure, like, oh, I wanted to make that class. Okay. That's weird. I was going for barbarian and I picked a witch. Yeah.
I don't think even new people, if they know about ascendancies ahead of time, can screw that up.
Yeah. Well, I did.
But good tip. Good tip.
So, yep, I would keep it in mind. So I think this pretty much wraps up. This is episode 27 for those of you who weren't aware. And clearly I wasn't in the beginning. But I think this wraps up episode 27 of Forever Exiled, a Path of Exile podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
You can find out additional information in the show notes below. We have a website, foreverexiled.com. We are on Twitter, foreverexiled82. Maybe give us a shout out. Let us know what you think of the new logo that we've got going and that we're rocking. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's on Twitter. It's on everything, probably.
It's somewhere. You'll see it.
It's the places. Wherever you click, it's there. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next episode. Super fun episode coming up next week. Bye.
Oh, you know what you're going to say after this? You've said it 2 weeks in a row. You're going to say, hey, Ty, I got to go. I got to go play Red Dead. You're going to say it.
True.